In today's episode, we spend our last day in the area visiting a pristine wildlife area just south of Anchorage, as well as enjoy a wonderful hike around Reflections Lake and the Haystack Flats, just 20 miles northeast of the city. From Florida to Alaska, from the East Coast to the West Coast, join Jane and Steve celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, traveling across North America in the Cool Nana Coach, their 27-foot Freedom Elite Class C motorhome, as they visit the many beautiful points of interest in all 50 United States on their golden anniversary adventure. Well, good morning. The smoke is finally clearing on the Chugach Mountains to our south. It is our last day camped in Palmer, our second Alaska base camp of this trip so far. We received an inquiry on what is base camping and how does it work for us. When we travel, we pick campsites that have multiple points of interest within reasonable travel distances from the camp. Our 27-foot Class C Cool Nana coach affords us all the comforts of home as we travel across America and Canada. However, driving a motorhome through small town streets can be cumbersome, and finding a place to park even more so. We always have our Equinox with us. We never leave home without her. Thanks to having Equinox with us, we have the flexibility of visiting and touring multiple areas adjacent to our base camps. No need to break down our campsite each day to go see a site. It's far easier to visit sites within an hour of our base camp and simply end the day back home at camp. We were able to maximize seeing points of interest along a nearly 4,000-mile trek from Florida to Montana, and the additional nearly 2,000-mile trek through Canada to Dawson City, Yukon. We made a long list of points of interest and mapped out several base camp locations from where we can maximize our visit to the 49th state. Valdez, Palmer, Whittier, Seward, Homer, Denali, Talkeetna, and Fairbanks were planned as our Alaskan base camps. Palmer is our base camp for the Anchorage area. At $30 a night, the Mantanuska River Park campground has been an ideal location. The famous glacier, Hatcher Pass, Independence Mine, the towns of Wasilla and Houston, and the city of Anchorage are all within a 40-minute or less drive from base camp, and this illustrates the benefits of base camping. I forgot to point out, Equinox gets 35 miles to the gallon of gas, while the Cool Nana coach barely manages 8 miles per gallon. So we also enjoy terrific savings on fuel as we tour. Base camping has been proven to us to be the best way to tour. We leave our camp in Palmer and head south on the Glen Highway towards Anchorage. About 15 miles into the trip, we once again spot the exit for Reflections Lake and the Palmer Hay Flats. We'll stop by there on our way back from Anchorage, where we intend to pick up some supplies and visit the Potter Marsh. At milepost 117 of the Seward Highway, Potter Marsh is a fantastic hidden gem, part of the Anchorage Coastal Wildlife Refuge. Potter Marsh may be the most accessible wildlife viewing spot in the refuge. This 564-acre freshwater marsh stretches for nearly 2 miles between the new Seward Highway and the base of the Chugach Mountains, creating a wetland maze that concentrates at least 130 species of migratory and nesting birds, very close to highway pullouts and 1,550 feet of handsome, family-friendly boardwalks. While walking down the boardwalk, we did come upon a few birdhouses, and they had hatchlings being tended to and fed by their parents. The boardwalk provided a terrific position to see and photograph them. We had hoped to see moose, beavers, bald eagles, and bears reported to habitat the marsh, but saw none. Three species of salmon enter Rabbit Creek beneath the boardwalk and can be seen schooling in deeper pools by midsummer, but it's only late spring and we're here too early in the season to see this. As we strolled down the boardwalk to its southern terminus, we did see the famous Alaska Railroad train roll by on its way to Seward with a load of tourists from the passenger ships to the dock there. Continuing our stroll, we overheard a person explaining that a black-billed swan was seen in the pools at the south end of the marsh, tending to its hatchling. So we got back into Equinox and headed a couple of miles south down the Seward Highway to try to find the swan. With the incredibly scenic snow-capped Chugach Mountains as a backdrop, we spotted the swan swimming with its hatchling, feeding in the pools. It was a real treat to see. The adult's head feathers had a contrasting stained dark color from the iron-rich water as it dipped its beautiful white-feathered head beneath the surface in search of a meal. Its hatchling was doing the same. We later found out that in the fall, migrating birds stop for their last meals, and pairs of mated black-billed swans draw dozens of photographers as summer draws to a close. Well, it's time to head north for our next point of interest, Reflection Lake. We drive to the end of the Seward Highway, through some traffic in Anchorage and on to the Glen Highway and get off at exit 30. While driving to Anchorage 2 days ago, we spotted this exit off the Glen Highway and decided to add this point of interest to our list. And here we are. Right beside one of the busiest highways in Alaska, the Glen Highway, we found peace and serenity at Reflections Lake, which is one of the Mat-Su Valley's hidden gems. Reflections Lake Trail features an easy, year-round walking path, including several viewing areas with bench seating to soak in the scenery. The trail's name doesn't disappoint. On a clear day with calm water, the lake offers stunning reflections of the nearby Chugach Mountains. Although easily accessible from the highway, wildlife still abounds in the area. Loons, beavers, and moose can all be seen or heard from the trail. The lake and surrounding area host many songbirds during April and May migration. Interpretive signage offers travelers the opportunity to learn about the surrounding Palmer hay flats, geology of the area, and the local waterfowl. A marked intersection on the south side of the trail provided us with a 1/4 mile out-and-back extension with access to the Nick River. We found several people fishing amidst swarms of mosquitoes. We were warned to make our presence known to bears when hiking the area as well. The first portion of the extension is dense alder. As the trail nears the river, vegetation thins and visibility opens up.
Please hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified as our future episodes are released and help us build our channel. And please tell your friends about us and invite them to join us for our future episodes.
Our hike continues as we come across the Reflections Lake Wildlife Viewing and Interpretive Tower, a 3-story steel structure built through the combined efforts of volunteers of Alaskans for Palmer Hay Flats and the generosity of donors and corporations listed on the dedication plaque.
The question is, will she make the climb? She's not going up. Well, I think I'll try it. I'm going to go up. Oh, way to the top. Here's to the top. I'm not telling you, unless you come up here.
The tower provides you with what traveling Robert Morales would certainly caption a commanding view. This Upper Cook Inlet Refuge was created in 1975. It's located near Wasilla, and it protects 28,800 acres of coastal and freshwater wetlands, tidal sloughs, mudflats, lakes, and streams, as well as the upland birch forest. Much of the hay flats that now supports the wetland habitats was relatively dry grasslands prior to the 1964 Alaskan earthquake. Land subsidence of 2 feet or more during the earthquake transformed the area into the wetlands we now see as Cook Inlet tidal waters and freshwater runoff inundated the area. Well, this just about wraps up day 44, with our visit to the Central Alaska area concluded for now, as we begin our trek south to the Turnagain Arm, Girdwood, Whittier, Seward, and the Kenai Peninsula, as we continue on our Golden Anniversary adventure.